is why you gotta pay attention in class.
Okay, I'm gonna not let it play all the time. What's up, Chantelle?
Hey, Lucky, how are you?
I am good. How's your weekend going so far?
It's going good. It's going good. Still here in Atlanta. I'm ready. I'm low-key ready to go to my house though.
You're at Idris'
I'm
house.
ready. Yeah, I'm in Idris. He flew me out.
Okay, so what have you done like over the weekend?
I went to the botanical garden over this weekend. Had dinner, just hung out and stuff. Nothing too fancy. What about you?
Kind of the same. Like I just spent time with family. I kind of went out. I forgot I had a date, girl. So I'm getting back into that. But I kind of wanted to try something new, like just start like a chat to see how people react. But thank you guys for coming to Lucky's channel. I appreciate it. Hello to the chat. Before we get started, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and comment. And I like the fact that I didn't do an intro in a lot of my other ones. So we just gonna vibe. I don't need to do it with you. So, Chantelle, we are gonna talk about manifesting a man today. Sisterhood is dying. And we definitely have to talk about Pygmisha and the Build-A-Boo. Because I know you got us some stories. So just to initially come in, because we're going to do this, but I really want to get to know you because I feel like I watched a lot of your interviews and I don't think that people really got to know you. Because when we're on the show, like I could tell you're more down to earth. You're not so like buttoned up. So I'm like, I want to surprise her and do something where it's a conversation, but it's based around like you. So initially, tell me like when you came into this space and stuff like that, what shaped your mindset? Because I know you said Kevin Samuels and you give him, a lot of his acknowledgement, but typically, what shaped your mindset overall? Because when you were watching him, you had to have already have thought these things or something has resonated with you.
So funny enough, I have been so I started my channel doing fitness. So I started being on the fitness side of YouTube, and then I transitioned over to the manifestation, the law of attraction side, because I'm big. If you know anything about like The Secret, the movie The Secret, Abraham Hicks, all those things. So I'm big on that. And then you know how when YouTube, if you watch one video, then all of a sudden all the videos get suggested, like all the videos on the topic get suggested. So I was watching videos on like attracts like, or like feminine energy, masculine energy, and then a lot of videos start getting suggested about like what masculinity is and what femininity is. And then it was around the pandemic time, and a lot of femininity channels popped up where none of them showed their face, they were just showing slideshows. You remember those?
Yeah.
And they all were just talking in this soft voice, and they were just trying to explain what femininity is. And then the Roommate podcast had Kevin Samuels on, and that's when I ran into Kevin Samuels. So like I always knew that men wanted something from women before, like not always all my life, but before I ran into Kevin Samuels, I knew that men wanted something. I just didn't know what it was. I knew masculine men wanted feminine women, but I didn't know exactly like what it was. So that's why I guess I was more open to hearing Kevin Samuels' point of view.
So I like that because I already knew things like when he was talking about results and things like that. You kind of already know, like, okay, most of us don't have the results we want, but we can't quite get it together. So when you were listening to him, were there any like particular relationships you thought about where you were like, because he always said you met Mr. Right already. So did you think you met Mr. Right already?
I personally haven't. I think that all my relationships have been experiences, and based on where I was in the points of my life, like that was a good experience to have. But looking back in hindsight, none of my relationship ended on bad term per se. They just said, it's like, okay, I learned my lesson. Like, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. So I don't think I came across Mr. Right. I mean, no, maybe. So let me say, okay, so maybe if like the knowledge I know now, if I was 20 and like the person I was dating at 20, maybe we couldn't make it work because maybe I would have been a little bit more patient, maybe I would have been more feminine, and then that would have caused him to be in his masculine role. but at the same time, likes attract like, and I wasn't at my best self, so also he wasn't at his best self. So maybe if at 20 I was at my best self, then I wouldn't even met him, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think well, what age did you start dating? Like did
I
you
started
take
dating.
this?
I started dating at 18. My first boyfriend was 18.
Yeah. Mine too.
Yeah.
Was he older than you?
He was like 1 year older than me.
Ah, okay. I think mine was like 21.
Hmm.
Is that like normal? That's normal, huh?
18 to 21. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I guess.
So would you say like when you had experiences and we're on like our channel, right? I mean on your channel we're on the show and we're talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and stuff like that. Would you say you ever dated a build-a-boo or
I
you say?
I have dated, yeah, I've dated. So I call a dusty to me is a man who is not, who doesn't want to be a man, right?
Mhm.
So I've dated men who are just very passive and complacent with being just, letting the strong independent woman take charge. So I've dated those men. I wouldn't call them a builder boo. I don't know. What's your definition of a builder boo?
They always say like potential because I think most of us are potential. We're not at
Mhm.
the height of where we want to be. We're not where we're constantly should be evolving in a good way.
Mhm.
So a buildable is somebody who you believe that they have potential, but they don't quite see it. So you're kind of the one trying to build him together up to what you would be proud of.
So where I have to be like motivating him and telling him like, hey, you should work on this and you should do that.
Yeah, like his mother.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I have dated a builder boo then, because so I've only had four exes, right? And they've all been um um business owners. They've all been like, like in their career, successful in their career. It's just that they were complacent in me changing the car tire, for example. Like I was
Mm,
the one wearing the pants in the relationship. So it would be a build up you where I would probably have to be telling him, no, a man is supposed to do this, and the man role is this and the woman role is that. But then also I didn't know what my role was. I thought I was strong independent and I'm gonna show him I can change a car tire. So maybe we both at the time, like while I was dating him, I was also a builder boo. Maybe like I was also,
See,
maybe,
I think. Wait, would you say you're a buildable now? I
no,
think
because I know my role.
but so you don't think that if a man got with you, he would have to, he would be able to mold you or coach you into what he wanted to be? Out
Well,
of,
no, because what he wants me to be for him, but I know what I should be as a woman. So, for example, like
Mhm.
a man get with me, don't have to tell me that I shouldn't post inappropriate pictures on social
Oh,
media or I shouldn't
absolutely.
wear, because I already know that. However, a man get with me will tell me, "Hey, I like when you wear yellow because yellow is his favorite color." So, like, it's a difference in terms of like if he's building me as a woman or if he's building me as the person, or like based on his interest, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the difference too, because if you're trying to build up the character and you're trying to instill certain values into them, that would be a project. I
Mhm,
don't think, that would
mhm.
even be anything good. So what would you say would be a trait in women today, like the project type of women? Like what would
A
you
woman.
say the builder woman, like what would she look like? Because we can
Oh,
identify a man.
so a builder woman is one of those women who just don't know how to carry themselves with class. Don't know the fact that when you're married and when you're single, it's two different things. Like when you're scratch that. No, don't know how to carry yourself as a wife, because they say you become a wife. You're a wife before you're married. Because it's like
Mhm.
he finds a wife, finds a good
We
thing.
say that
So a
too.
builder woman is like a woman who just is like, she's for the streets. Like, everybody have access to her. All the men have access to her. She don't know how to be low key. She don't know how to be conduct herself like a ladylike. I would consider, because a builder man is a man who don't want to be a man and who don't know what it takes to be a man, right? So a builder girl or a builder woman is a woman who just don't know what it means to be a woman, in my humble opinion, right? Like she don't know how to just be ladylike.
So would you say would you say with a builder woman? would you say they have the potential? Like, what would it take for them to be in that seat? If they're trying to be a wife and they're trying to build themselves, what type of things would they need to do to build themselves up to that? Like, we could say counseling, but what type of traits would you say they have to work on? Because you mentioned how they dress and things like that.
I would say surround themselves with women who carry themselves with class, and just to like take notes from them. I honestly think that, you know, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
you can't teach class. It comes, right? You either have class or you don't. But if you realize that you don't have class and you really want to change that part of your life, you can surround yourself with people and just observe how women with class carry themselves, and
Mm-hmm.
then mimic that. You probably will never get there 100%, but those, if you're really like, okay, for example, say a young girl was raised by streetwalkers, and she doesn't want to be a streetwalker, and she want to learn how to carry herself with class and not be out there in the streets. She can just surround herself with women who don't be out there in the streets, and try and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully adopt those traits.
I think that's right. It's kind of hard to do that when most of your environment,
Hmm.
is adopting those traits, so you start to pick up things from them.
Hmm.
So, do you have any like goals as far as where you would want to be married? Like, what age would you would want to be married?
Well, my age that I wanted to be married at was 27. That didn't happen. So, so no, it's just like I don't necessarily have a specific age that I'm like, oh, I have to get married by that. I just know that I'm learning everything that I can learn now,
Hmm.
since I wasn't taught how to be a wife. So when that time comes, I'll be ready.
Yeah, I think that's important too. So, are
Hmm.
you dating?
I don't share my personal like dating life
Hmm.
on YouTube. I'll
Yeah.
never say if I'm dating or not, or if I'm in a serious relationship or not.
So
Only
you're just
because,
pop up married.
pardon me.
I said so. You're like the I'll just pop up married.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Only because
Yeah.
it's like, if one, it distracts from my message that I'm trying to tell, right? My channel works because I'm not married, and I did not get married by the time that I wanted to be married.
Hmm.
So if I'm married now, or if I'm in a serious relationship now, it doesn't matter. It just,
Right.
I did
Right.
not get married when I thought I was going to get married, and this is why.
See, and that's why they call, like they say, the pick me, like the pick me shit. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because that's a lot of things that happen. They want to know if you're dating. They want to know all in your business and things like that. When in actuality, it really doesn't make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If the point is the message, then the point should be the message. So, what are your thoughts on that when they start calling you a pick me shit?
Yeah, I think like people tend to just focus too much on the messenger and not the message. And the thing is, like, calling me a pick me or trying to shame me for not being married yet is like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Like, you're exactly proving my point. I'm not
Hmm.
married, and this is what I did why I'm not married. And yes,
Hmm.
I want to be picked. I want to be married. So this is what I'm doing to get married. So them trying to shame me, I mean, they try, but it's like, okay, because as I
Yeah.
said, like, so like I don't really feel any kind of way when I'm saying pick Misha. I just imagine how miserable they have to be to hear somebody else sharing their personal life story, and then you're so triggered by my personal life story that you feel the need to
Hmm.
come and call me names. They
Yeah.
got, their life sucks.
So do you realize that most of the time those are like the women that truly start to manifest the man and things like that? Have you heard of that?
Like the woman who, what, the ones who call me pick
Okay, so the women that will say, "Oh, Chantel's a pygmisha," those are also the same women that will say like,
who try
"Oh,
to
believe in God for a man,"
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
like lesbian. What do you think of that? Because I have a video I want you to see.
It's like the ones who be is calling me a pick me should be saying, be asking for the Sierra prayer, or be saying, oh, there are no good men around, or complaining about men. Yeah, they contradict themselves without even realizing it. And it's like, sis, everybody wants to be picked. Like the fact that you are even complaining about that black men are crap, then that means you want to find a black man that's not crap. Because if you didn't care, then that them being crap shouldn't have bothered you, right? You should have just mind your business and go your way. So I find it very funny, because as I said, they'll be over here asking for the Sierra prayer, but then at the same time calling me a pick me. If you asking for somebody else's prayer to manifest a man, that even makes you more of a pick me, even worse than me.
Yeah. So I think I want you to see something,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in a Facebook group at one point in time in which a lot of women, and I had to just, let me just put a plug. Something just happened recently where my channel was shared in Facebook, girl, and I guess like a whole lot of people started to follow, and then like YouTube like reported. Girl, it's a whole thing. But anyway, I was on Facebook. I just had to say that because that just irritated me. But today, so I'm kind of off. But I was on Facebook in this group called Spirits and something, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
was about women who pray or something like that, but you don't really know who they pray to. So, girl, I seen this lady. They were black women, and let me just tell you, they had this goat. Like, it was like the heart or something. And it had like blood. And this is when I learned how many black women truly are into dark type of things that people would call. I know Danica likes to call it dark femininity, but I've heard someone else use the term as well, where it's a way where they try to seduce men. And some of them claim that it's working based on the things that they do. So they do things such as, oh, pray to stuff with now, you see more black women saying they're woke, or,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they're starting to wear certain jewelry to symbolize that this is what they're into. And I'm not shaming people's beliefs, but I've actually have been related to people who are into that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know, I wonder if she's ever heard of this, because in certain cultures you have it where women really are getting men to love them. They're getting their ex back. They're getting other people's men, allegedly, I'm saying, based on the things that they're doing to manifest a man. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of, so this is disgusting, but I'm pretty sure y'all heard of it too. When you put your blood in like soup or like spaghetti or like stew
Mhm.
peas and stuff, so you can get the man. In Jamaica, we call him tie the man, where it's like you tie him down so he'll never leave. Um, I've heard of it. I've never like I've never experienced like if no one has ever told me like, yeah, this is what I've done, right? But I've heard that like it's quiet, it happens quite often. And whenever you see whenever someone said the songs is, oh, the songs, I thought they were saying that the song, the audio is
Oh,
no, forgive me, it's Saturday. I was ready to fix my headphones. But yeah, I hear it happens quite often. Like whenever a lady's like treating a man like crap, and he's like doing everything for her and being like basically a sim, one would question, okay, maybe she tied him, maybe she gave him some of her blood. And you guys know the kind of blood I'm talking about, the blood that
mhm.
comes every month.
Yeah.
Give him that blood to drink.
And it's
And she
spaghetti or something.
yeah, and she'll have him for forever.
So look at this.
Uh,
It's not bad, y'all. It's just this lady. So
The sacred apple. And it comes from the earth. So that's why
can
I
you
want
hear
you
it?
to love it. And then we have another surprise when we cut it. There's a perfectly 5-star little pentagon here. So I'm going to carve this out for you, right where the star is. So now we pour this beautiful honey into this wonderful sacred apple for the sweetness of love to be in your life. This has 6 or 7 different herbs blended on the new moon for love. And
I
I'm
think
going to
she's
put
in
this
like
over here for
Minnesota.
you, on the top of the apple. Nothing but the best. Love and lust. May you have both.
there's an echo,
True
Lucky.
soul
Huh? Let me mute myself.
mate. And love and lust. May you have both. So now at this time, I'm going to do your spell for you. And you would repeat it after me.
I don't want her to repeat it because I just have this thing, right? but y'all get it.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of women, they are going to people like that. They're also starting to put it into reality TV shows in which they're making it normal on your screen, where you see women after a breakup or after anything, they go to some lady who looks like that and they discuss certain things that they would like to happen. Do you think this is something that more people should be aware of, or is it something that you think is just it's not going to work?
No, I think more people should be aware of it. Well, my take on voodoo is we call it obia in Jamaica. I don't believe it will happen. I don't believe it can happen to you unless you believe it can happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't think any other I don't think no other human being has so much control over someone else's life where they can where they can use things to affect your life that much. But I think it does happen, and unless you are aware of it, unless you're mindful of it, you come across women who will do these things. But my thing is like, if you have to go to a voodoo person to get a man, like damn sis,
It's desperate.
that's very
Or
desperate.
is it, so you never been through nothing where you ain't never had your heart broken to where it make you want to pray?
Make me
Be
want to
like, I swear to
pray. But like, okay, so and that's why I said like I don't regret none of my exes, and I look at them as experiences, because even when I get my heart broken, like I'm thinking of it as, okay, this is a lesson. Like, what can I
God.
take from that, and what can I learn, and like how can I self-reflect to be better for my next relationship. So it's not like I've never gotten my heart broken where I'm like, oh my gosh, I want you back, let me go drink my blood so
Yeah.
it's just like, because then also, I don't want somebody who doesn't want me. And if I have to be going to her to do whatever with the apple so he can want me, like I don't want that kind of
And it
relationship.
was interesting that it was an apple. But
Yeah.
what do you think that like do you have like female friends that you hang out with, or you guys kind of like vent to each other like a sisterhood?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What would you say you guys sisterhood looks like as opposed to most of the sisterhood that you see here today? When we talk about the sisterhood, we usually speak against it. So what would you say your friendship with your sisters looks like compared to the other ones? Like how does your friendship work? How do you guys hold each other accountable? How do you guys like talk to each other? Is there a boundary? Like let me know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've had two sets of sisterhood, because as I said, I wasn't always like traditional minded, let a man lead, and um taking accountability. I wasn't always like that. So I have girlfriends who now I keep at arm's length, but who just want to complain about men, and who just want to talk about how the men are the dusties and the men are at fault, without self-reflecting and say, okay, why did I attract this kind of man, and then why did I entertain this kind of man? And then I have my new set of sisterhood that we hold each other accountable heavy, like we're extremely self-aware, extremely like, okay, like whenever we start a conversation, if we're venting or something, we'll say, am I at fault, or look at this, very unbiased.
Right.
And I think that's the difference, that being unbiased, because all my modern woman friends who just want to do hot girl summer around the streets, they are very biased because the man is always at fault. I remember even having an issue with one of my exes, and I was telling one of my friends, and it was like I was straight up at fault, like there was even no doubt about it that I was at fault. And she was like, but did he even try? And I'm like, really sis, like you can't even like you know give me some kind of accountability. And yeah, just keep them at arm's length, as opposed to the other friends who will always
Right.
like,
Right.
not to necessarily say take fault first, and always be the one that's, like, those low self-esteem people that's always like, oh, I could have done this differently. Not
Mm-hmm.
to say that, but it takes two to tango, and if a relationship ended, both of y'all, why the relationship ended. So self-reflect.
I think that's important. When you self-reflect, like what are some of the things, do you ask yourself questions, or do
Hmm.
like how do you what type of questions do you ask yourself? Like why did I do this?
Mm-hmm. So, like, I asked if I was my best self because I don't think you'll ever get to your best self, but it's a pursuit of your best self. So, I always ask if I was showing up as my possible best self. So, I look at every aspect of my life. Like, was I working out? Was I meditating? Was I, doing my work? Was I cleaning? Just doing everything as the best that I can be. Because I strongly believe that how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you slack off in one area, like, say, your fitness, if you stack off in your fitness, eventually it's going to trickle over in another area. So when something ends or something doesn't go my way how I desired it to go, I always ask, like, look in the other aspect of my life, and if I was slacking in those aspects, more than likely I was slacking in that part too.
I think it's I think that's important because a lot of the times, even myself, I may have slacked in a lot of areas, and it's important to have that harsh talk with yourself. And I know I talk to myself like, "Girl, what are you doing? Like, would you take advice from you, or just certain things that I've done that I wish I can correct?" And I think the most important part too, to kind of get to a place where like you've learned and you listen to certain things, and people could say, "Oh, she's a pick me," but I think the important factor is you did the work. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly doing the work, in which you can say, I've forgiven myself, and I think that's the hard part for. So what helped you forgive yourself to where you like, okay, let them call me what they're gonna call me. I'm gonna just walk into what I'm supposed to and get the results that I want. Like, what was that?
I mean, the first step is to admit it. I think a lot of times we avoid trying to admit it, so we try to say like, well, it wasn't that bad. Like, for example, I'm a personal trainer, right? So a lot of times when I have new clients, they will try to say like, oh well, um, it sounds mean. It sounds meaner than I actually say to my client. But a lot of times these clients will always say, I'm not that fat, or the fat falls in all the right places, or it's not that bad. So it's like I need my clients to say, to look in the mirror and say, yes, I am fat. Once you can admit that I am fat, like this is where you are, then you can start doing the work. So for me, it took me looking in the mirror and saying, okay, yes, I'm selfish, or yes, I don't know how to submit, or I don't know how to allow a man to lead. That's what it took me looking in the mirror and saying, okay, yes, before I could be able to do the work.
And I think that's how you hope a woman like that can withstand a good friendship to other women, because I can't tell you when it comes to sisterhood and holding yourself accountable, and also when you become that person who's able to identify and always point the finger at you to see what you could have done, you also are able to allow people to hold a mirror up to themselves. But then when you have friendships, you realize most people have a problem with you holding a mirror up to them. So have you ever like lost friendships with women?
Oh yeah, what? Yes, girl. No, I wouldn't say necessarily lost friendship. Because all right, so here, this is how I am. I don't care if you don't care, right? Um, I believe that you can't see the picture inside the frame. So that's why people get coaches, like
Mm-hmm.
athletes get coaches because they can't see themselves while they're playing, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
need the coach to see you and give you feedback. However, if that person does not request your feedback, and if you give them like a small feedback and they get defensive, I tend to just like, okay, that's not my business. Like, for example, I have a friend who's really, really fat, and like I tried telling her, like, hey, she wasn't fat when she got married, and then 2 years after she gained like over 100 pounds. And I tried telling her, hey, you can use my services for free. Do you need help with your fitness? And she always like get defensive. And we're still friends, but she's just still fat. So I just leave her there until she comes to me and say, hey, I need help with this. I'm not gonna like push it in her face and try to help her, because you can only help people who want the help.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
that's why a lot of people get triggered when you try to hold a mirror up to their face, because they
mm-hmm.
don't want the help and they're not ready for the help. Um but I mean, I'm very like, listen, I'm trying to save myself. If you want to come along for the journey, come along for the journey, but I'm not trying to convince anybody to come. Like,
Yeah, that no, but that's real, because you don't want to try to first of all, that's why I say the sisterhood is dying, because now more women, the women who they will call pygmishas, or the women that they would actually point the finger at, that are trying to get different results or just change the situation, most of the time they're choosing the results, which would be what
mm,
it, usually the family or whatever it looks like to them, over trying to always do girls trips or always trying to do just on holidays. What is it? Valentine's Day, like all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm just like, I seen on Father's Day there was a picture. I wish I could have got it and shared it, where it was all these women who were with their children with no man, and they were celebrating Christmas
Mm-hmm.
together. And I was just like, and they were like saying, you know, we do this together. And I was just like, I understand, you know, you could have gotten there, you know, whatever, but as far as promoting it, you know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's a lot of people who be like sisterhood is important and sisterhood, like, they prioritize sisterhood over getting a husband. So
Mm,
they'll say things like, oh, like there was a post going around a couple months now where they'll say like, oh, there's nothing, there's no man, no job, no, and they list a bunch of things that's more important than sisterhood. But in my eyes, I'm sorry, but my husband and my family is more important than sisterhood.
mm-hmm.
But they try to push this whole stay loyal. They say sisters before misters. Stay loyal to your man. I'm sorry, stay loyal to your sister and put your
Yeah.
man on the back burner. It's like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
nah. And I guess that's
That
why I don't
sounds
have a lot of
lonely.
friends. Yeah, very lonely. I guess that's why I don't have a lot of friends though. Like, as I said, I know a lot of people, but I keep them all at arm's length because we're not going in the same direction. And there's only like a few people who I can sit and, talk to about like relationships or get advice or say, hey, do you think I should do things? Keisha, see, I was just about to call Keisha's name. Where it's like, can you reach out to her and be like, hey, Keisha, how you think I should approach this situation? And they give you a fair opinion and not being
Mhm.
biased. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people that can do that.
And then it would have to be a woman that you would trust, that their advice, like you would trust their results. If Keisha has the results that you would want, or even that, they would just say, let's say she doesn't have the results, but she's happy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that who we get counsel from or who we get advice from, they may not always have gotten it to where you are, because their lessons are their lessons, their outcomes are their outcomes. But overall, I think it's important who we counsel, because if you got 7 kids and ain't no man around, I'm not asking you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's nothing you could tell me other than don't be like me, you know?
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. Or if they're like, say they say the for example, the ladies that with no man around, but say all of them are like, you know what, I'm taking accountability, I'm self-aware, I realize that I don't have a man around and this is what I want. Then yeah, you can take somewhat advice because you guys are both on the same journey. But it doesn't make any sense to be taking advice from someone who does not want the same or have the same thing that you want.
Hmm. Well, I think my final question is, how do you maintain in a space where you have such a poise in your space, and it's the same temperature all the time, even when it's a little spicy, it's the same temperature. How do you maintain that with a lot of people who do poke at you or find a reason, like you said, somebody just wish death on you? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
As
Like
I
how?
said, I sympathize because like what do you have to be going on with your life? Like how fat do you have to be to be triggered by me? Because I'm recently on TikTok and this one girl extremely triggered off a video of me working out. And I'm like, sis, like me working out does not change your health, it does not change anything. So it's like, how mad do you have to be at yourself to see someone else sharing their life experiences and saying,
Mhm.
hey, this is what I went through. If you don't want this, probably don't repeat my patterns. And you mad at that. Like, and then sometimes, honestly, there's a lot of trauma in the Black community. There's a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, and a lot of people have some childhood trauma that they experience and they're not even aware of. And
Yeah.
back in my days, I used to be a foster care worker, right? So I hear a
Mhm.
lot of stories, and every time I see comments, and a lot of my clients used to lash out and they used to just act a whole entire mess. And these were like 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds. And so a lot of times when I see these comments, I just remember back to my clients. Like, they went through a lot in life and
Mhm.
that's why they're lashing out. Don't excuse it, but I understand why you lash out. So when I see people on YouTube lashing out, I just think of my clients and try to have some patience with them.
I think that's important. And I think when you have that type of mindset, it has to get easier, especially in customer service, child. It seems like you can't please anybody. Like,
Yeah.
have you? Do you have any people that work where you work or in the gym? Do they follow you?
No, 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 no. I separate my I don't tell everybody my personal
Chantelle, you talking
life.
about fat people yesterday.
Say that again.
No, I said they'll be like, Chantelle, you was talking about fat people
Oh
yesterday.
yeah. No, no, no. I mean, of course, my clients know because they're so like, like of course they know. But like in terms of people in like my corporate job or like, people who I'm not like close with, like I don't go around passing on my YouTube card and saying follow me
Hmm.
on YouTube. Like
Right.
I have a YouTube channel if you ask me.
Well, do you want to take calls?
Yeah, we can since we have time.
Yeah, I was so considered. I said, you know what, I'm gonna give her an hour and a half max because it was a lot going on. I'm like, and it's her weekend, and she's at Idris'
Yeah.
house.
I know I made him some salmon though, so he's downstairs.
Do you like blackened salmon, or do you like
No,
what's your favorite type?
so I have a specific way how I do my salmon. That's what makes my salmon so great, and I refuse to share it because I
Is
make
this the
yeah,
KFC recipe?
huh?
The KFC recipe?
Yeah, this
No.
no, it's not it. But the secret recipe that KFC don't share. I refuse to share it because then it wouldn't be Chantel's special salmon.
I hope you start cooking on your channel, or
I
you
wouldn't
can't.
cook my salmon though.
You wouldn't cook your salmon. So what would you
Mhm.
cook? If we get cook with Chantel or in the kitchen with Shan, that would be really cute.
Yeah, that would
In the kitchen with Shan. I want to
what
see
would
that
I
too.
cook? I would probably cook the salmon, but I wouldn't show how I cook the salmon.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
like cooking.
I feel
There's
like
this
you use honey glaze or something special.
so it's both the seasoning and how I cook it. That what makes it hit, right?
Okay.
Um I like cooking. There's this rasta pasta recipe that I have that's like really good that I like cooking. So maybe that's what I'll make if I was to do a video. What else? I mean, I don't eat meat. So I'll probably you know
Oh,
what
I
I'll
didn't
probably make?
know. Oh, you don't.
No, I only eat fish. Or something I would probably
Crab
make some
legs?
ground
No.
fish. What? Fried rice?
Crab legs?
Crab legs? No, no, I'm not a big fan of cooking crab legs. I like eating it, but I don't like cooking it. I would probably cook some brown stew fish though, but it's like the full fish, like the with the head and all. I like that. I like making that too. That's fun to make.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes because I want to kind of get some time. I want to start being on time, so let me just chit chat and tell you what I've been doing, girl.
Mhm.
So me and Tony have been getting together. So
Tony
we
Carroll, he told me.
yes, so I already started, but I got me a new camera
Hmm.
in which I haven't started vlogging on it. So I'm trying to vlog some stuff that we talk about. So I was like, I don't want to put people in the video, but I do want them to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what do we talk about on the show that won't seem weird? So definitely I'll start talking about the Lori Harvey. And girl, why? I didn't even get all of it on footage. Like it was so loud in the restaurant. I'm like, how do people vlog in loud places? So
Hmm.
I'm trying to get it together. I'm over here struggle vlogging. But yeah, I'm gonna put out some content because I think that'll be fun to kind of have
So
someone.
did your date know you were recording?
Yeah, they did. They didn't care.
So I don't know because I can't imagine how, because as you said the restaurant is so low, but then you also want it in like their authentic, response. So you want to make sure that when you ask a question, that's the first time you ask a question. You don't have to like re-ask the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It'll probably be a drive, like a car ride. That might be better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I definitely want to get some good conversation. So if we ever have some, or you want me to say, "Hey, Lucky," See what we could get to. Girl, I'm gonna have so much fun. Oh, we have Andrew.
Hey,
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 Mandra.
Andrew.
hey, how
Well,
you doing? Hey, Chantelle, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I get that thing with when you're training people. I get that too. No, the
My
fascinating but with training people, and then they get mad at you when you ask them, "Hey,
your training.
yeah, I'll train you." You know what I mean? They get pissed off. The funny
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah.
when they come the first day and you take it as easy street as possible,
Mhm.
and they don't come back.
Yeah, that's why like
It's like you didn't even really do anything. I mean,
yeah.
It was
Like I
tough.
only did I only train people who want to be trained. Like
hmm
a lot of people say they want training, but because I'm not trying to waste my time.
there
So
you
like what
go.
I'll do, I'll tell like if somebody wants to sign up for personal trainer, I'll give them a consultation and then I'll tell them to go lose 5 pounds on their own. And once they lose that 5 pounds, they should come back to me. Because
Oh,
if you can lose 5 pounds on your own, that tells me that you're ready to lose weight.
you actually want to do the work.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Warning, Chantel. This question may be in bad taste, but if you see me around the new YouTube streets, you know I'm going to ask anyway. All right.
Mhm.
Now the disclaimer outside of the way. I saw you on Security Boss's show. I choose you. At first, I
Mhm.
didn't know who it was, and I watched the whole thing when you was there. I was like, and someone told me, "Yeah, you saw Chantelle Simone." I'm like, "Who?" Chantelle Simone. I was like, that was her." But yeah, like I didn't even recognize you. But anyway, what happened with that situation? They didn't nothing panned out with that.
So I think Security Boss has a show coming up
Mm-hmm.
to reveal. So yeah, I can't tell her secrets, but she has a show coming up to
An update.
yeah, yeah,
There you go. I'll wait for that. No problem. I
yeah.
was curious though. I was like,
I don't
is
want to
that
drop
real?
I don't want to tell any of her secrets.
Drop
Gotcha.
the
Yeah.
bomb.
Spoilerly like
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Lucky.
Mandrell, let me ask you a question. What do you think about the pick me's? Do you think that it is a good time for more women to start to fall into that type of situation? Because I understand everything comes with a stereotype, like every single thing. So I think it's not really a bad name. But do you think that more women should take the role of a pick me, so to speak?
Okay. Full disclosure. I had never heard of a pick me until I got on YouTube. So
Okay.
what? And no one's been able to define it for me clearly. So help me out with that. What's a
So
pick
a
me?
pick me, tip from my understanding, it's a girl who is pretty much thirsty to get picked. So she'll put down different women. She'll try to make herself look better than other women, always agreeing with men,
Oh
things like
no.
that. Yeah.
Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. That's not a
But
good
that's
thing.
not overall the women that they call pick me's. They call the women pick me's that are actually saying, you know what, I need to get my together. So I am going to do the work on myself so that I can get the man that I can qualify for, basically the best of my options. Do you
That's
think that
fine.
women should think? You don't think
Yeah,
more?
more women should do that. I mean, that's how you catch
Mhm.
the guy you're looking for. That's how you do it.
Do you think? Would you say a woman who's more willing to be a pick me or a woman that's more willing to do those things would be happier, or do you think that she may feel forced, like she's trying to? You kind of get what I'm saying? Because some women, they'll do those things and they'll get
Mhm.
picked, and then they'll say, "I was a housewife," or "I was these things. I just wasn't happy."
Mhm,
Like, what do
mhm.
you think it is for those type of women that do that?
That do it just for that sole purpose and not trying to
No, like
make
you.
you
Okay,
happy.
so if we hear men say, do these things
hmm
will get you the result, these things will get you the best option of a man. But then you also see a lot of women that are from the outside looking at the women that have done those things, and they're saying, hey, don't be like me, live your life. You know what I'm saying? I did those things and I am not happy at the end of the day. Yes, I have the man, but I still feel X, Y,
Oh, well then, what that is those women weren't wise to begin with, and they
and Z.
faked it until they, the whole fake it till you make it thing. It wasn't them. It's and lucky. I don't know if you heard me say this before, but I told security boss, women today they're not built for it. By and large, I mean, if you go on by what you see on YouTube, a lot of women just aren't built for marriage. If you go on by what you see on YouTube, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, it's unfortunate, but it seems like that you can't make them happy no matter what you do. You can put them in the best situation possible. You can put them in a situation where there's no stress at all. The guy's making all the money. She can be a housewife and take care of the home or whatever. And these situations where they're married and don't have kids, and the woman's still unhappy
Mm-hmm.
with the marriage. What are you unhappy about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just
What would you
just,
say, Shan, to
I
that?
would think, yeah, because as I said earlier, not everybody is made to be a wife. Like, not everybody is a wife, and you were a wife before you get married. And some people just don't have the desire to stay in a house, cater to a man, and raise kids. And I mean, that's just, there's nothing wrong with that. So if somebody is saying, oh, don't do that because I am unhappy, maybe that person who is unhappy is just not a wife. But if you have a desire to be a wife, then do it. Like, that's what, like, for me, for example, I
Yeah.
specifically speak to women who want to be a wife, because some people probably want it. Some young girls probably want to go get their MBA, move up in their career, and follow my exact path, and they'll be happy with my decision. I'm not happy with it because I was made to be a wife. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I tell them, like, hey, if you want to be a wife, don't do this. This is for people who don't want to be wives and who want to be career driven entrepreneurs.
okay.
I agree. So I'm gonna bring up Scam Likely, and we could Mandrell, did you wanna drop down?
Why would I want to do that?
Make it a scam. What's up, Scam?
Hey, what's good? What's going
He
on?
pulls up and Chantelle hides.
I just didn't want to drink my water on camera. I'm sorry.
I do it all the time. It's not a big deal. I drink water on camera all the time.
Mandrell dropping some knowledge. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounded
just
like
saying.
me almost.
Yes. This
We'll
is the
talk,
picking
Sam.
takeover.
But I'll say it publicly. You were right. People don't know what we're talking about, Scam Likely, but yeah, you're right.
I told you, bro.
You're right.
What it is.
What would you like to add, Scam? Dust up.
All right. And I'm just talking more like YouTube. But for now, I'll just leave it at YouTube. But reality is still reality when you click the red X and walk outside these streets.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of men who want to be husbands, who actually have guidance, wisdom, leadership, that type of thing, we weren't born yesterday. We see stuff. I've never seen a panel. I've been getting on YouTube and got hooked and addicted since what, November, December timeframe. I've yet to see a panel full of women that lost 20 pounds. I ain't seen it. Where's it? No, because I guess here's what it is. The men were the problem. The men are all screwed up. We ain't making no money. We're all dustatrons, and that's what it was. And the women were all perfect. Where's the panel of all these women who went and got all the knowledge? Oh, that's what men want. So now they're not talking over men when they're speaking. They're listening, they're following, and they're losing weight, and they're learning how to cook. Where's that at? Or is it a bunch of women who are saying, really, bro?
My
Your
bad.
cell phone always ringing.
No, you're good. But no, but there's some women that are coming here almost like, hi, I am a feminine woman. I want a high value man so I can be a house wife. Yeah. People ain't stupid, man. We know we know they're reading the script. We know they're comedians. And if you just ask 4, 5, 10 questions, sometimes it takes 10 days, sometimes it takes a month. They're going to come out and you'll see it. But it's the same thing out there in the streets. I met some women who I can tell they didn't listen to a couple of Kevin Samuels things and they're pitching that stuff. So then I hit them with something that ain't on a talking point and ask them something. And to find out it's just them talking that stuff. So it's not the real pick-me's are getting picked. They're gone. Like when I actually go to the gym, the women, because I've shot plenty of shots to the gym, bunch of air balls. Because while they're working on legs, 2 minutes later, here comes the man. He was working on his arms. I'm like, dang, they actually got man. He's right there. Or they get out and go to the parking lot. A Benz pulls up with a man in it. He opens the door and I'm like, oh, damn. These dudes are paying the price to get these slim trim women. Okay, it's like that. They're not letting them go either. But there's real pick-me's, and then there's a bunch of dust-me's out here faking. And we know. I'll leave it at that and pass it.
Would you what are your thoughts as far as the difference in a pick-me? Would you say that's a thing, or would you say that that's just a term that they made up to shame the women into You get what I'm saying? Not doing the work for men. Because it seems like anytime a woman speaks up in any defense of a man or any type of siding with the man, she's automatically shamed. So is there any type of like, what is your opinion on that? Because we don't really hear too many men either in this space defending them as
Well,
much, not
and
on a large scale.
YouTube was different because the wives and the women that's getting married that's out here dating, they can just go live their life out here in the streets or whatever, and then just go home. Or they can not post something on Facebook. They don't have to post. They don't have to have a conversation. All they got to do is give the man what he wants, and he ain't going nowhere. So that's the real life side. They don't have to stand up with a megaphone or actually had a conversation. They just look at these 388-pound masculine baby mamas like, man, sucks to be you.
Nobody is
Go home
388 pounds.
488. Inflation.
So
But,
yesterday, Chantelle, I was discussing in the you when Six the Goddess had the interview, and she explained how broke men go for the bigger woman. And so I was breaking down, and there was a particular woman that responded to that, and she said, quote, "I get niggas, okay?" And she said she has never not been with the man that she wanted. So she says that is a myth. And I agree to a certain point that a man who's looking to take advantage of you for a place to stay is going to do it regardless of your size. But what do you say in regards to that stigma? Do you think that there's some truth to that? Because we know we hear this all the time about the overweight woman, but I think the overweight woman is potential. I think you pass up a good woman, she just is overweight.
What do you call overweight?
No.
I would say when your arms start to hang out here, when you have to buy 2 tickets, when you start the church seats don't fit. You know, the church seats are standard.
And you
size.
said that's South
She
Dakota?
been overweight.
Potential.
That's
Because
not potential.
if we're saying that women date potential for the sake of
You shouldn't be dating potential.
okay,
That's-
sorry. Let
that's
me
rigged.
here
But go ahead.
trajectory.
Trajectory,
Um,
yes.
We date trajectory, and
Yes.
that means financially, right? He's not where you want to be, but he's working toward. Why can't men still date women that are in trajectory, but they are working toward?
Because you
they're
had
never gonna,
okay, so
they're
it's
never gonna
like
get there.
she went on a decline. He is going upward. She went on a decline because to get to that size, she had to go down. As opposed to him, he's building up. Does that make sense? Because she wasn't born that size.
Well, some people are born overweight.
Yeah,
No,
You've never
no,
seen
no.
You've never
Yeah,
seen
there
a
is genetics, but then there's go ahead.
You've never seen a overweight baby. You've never
yeah,
seen
Yeah,
a
but
but they're not born that way. That's because the parents feed them crap food. They feed them a
no.
whole
Some
McDonald's.
babies
Oh wait,
are born
At-
10 pounds.
yeah,
No,
at 1 years old, kids get eaten a whole McDonald's Happy Meal, a whole
there's
thing, and they're drinking all by themselves. That
there's
comes from a
multiple
constant.
factors.
Yeah, there's multiple factors, but the kids may be born a little heavy, but as they grow, if you feed them the right diet, a nutritious one, then they're not going to grow up to be, fat like that, porkers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you got a woman who's already big, and you meet them, and you look at it. Okay, she's really pretty, and then she lost 50 pounds. She'd be really hot. Been there, done that. Bought the T-shirt. Has never worked.
it never worked because then it's like
I mean,
you.
you're muted.
I'm
I think it's
muted.
over. I can hear.
You're unmuted. You were kind of.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say. No, okay, so I was saying because if you are gonna look at her and say, oh well, if she was to tighten up, she would be pretty, but she did not have the interest to tighten up. She's not gonna tighten up for you. Like
Mm-mm.
she's gonna have to do it. She's gonna have to want to do it herself. And if you meet someone who is not at that point, and that's why I say I tell my clients to lose 5 pounds before I take you on, because if you aren't ready to do it, nobody on this earth is gonna convince you. No matter how much time I call you, I send you a meal plan or I send you your workout for the week. it's not going to happen unless she's ready to do it. So no, it's there's a difference though. If you meet a lady and she has already say lost some and she's in the gym and you met her while she's on her weight loss journey and she's doing it, then that's different. But if you met her on the couch with a bag of potato chips, don't think that she's going to change
Not
because
happening.
you said
I'd
it.
be on the
That's not
couch with a bag of potato chips too.
I don't know.
But it's
You two will
different.
be lying now.
You have a fast metabolism. Plus, you're young. It's still, and I take it you don't eat a lot of junk food, like actual
I,
trash food. But
I do. I
oh,
do.
here's the thing: like McDonald's, that's
I
trash
love
food.
chili cheese fries. Um, but I don't know. I think I get what you're saying, but you said something before you take them on as a project. You make them lose 5 pounds. They have to show that they are worthy of this. So how come men can't do the same thing? If she's trajectory, she could have already been in the gym, and she started somewhere. She's already lost 20 pounds. She's already left it.
Yeah, that's
She's
what I said.
Are you?
Yeah,
okay.
if you
Yeah,
met
go
You're
ahead.
her,
championing that only if she's
yeah, if
sweating
you
it
met her and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've been working out, I'm trying to lose," and you met her because she already made up her mind that yes, I'm gonna do this, and you met her in the middle of her fitness journey, then that's different than you meeting her and having to convince her to go work out.
I agree. I
The,
agree
Right.
the,
overall.
That's
I just
different.
always go ahead.
no, I'll say the worst thing, and I know somebody's going to do it. Every time I talk about overweight women, they go and pull up this one model in Australia that's got 3% body fat. Hey, man, this is one who's overweight. I'm like, no, they know what women we're talking about.
Hmm.
We're talking about overweight, sloppy. And at the end of the day, when men are picking their women, men with confidence, men who actually saying, no, I'm looking for an actual wife. Those who have the space for the woman to come into, those who qualify. There's a committee. It starts with the left eye, the right eye, and Mr. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
If Mr. Johnson says, no, I'm not interested, then it just doesn't work. You can't fake that.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
guess there's some dustos out here who Mr. Bank account is on E, or their life is so bad that they can convince Mr. Johnson to stick it in this dark hole with 30 pounds of layers of fat. I mean, I don't know how they're doing it, but there's a committee.
Okay, now I'm gonna bring you up for a sec, and then
yeah,
we're gonna get
and
Chantel out of here in a short minute. But I see two people who've already shown. I know who you are. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been seeing people's pages and all this stuff, so I do want people to start to kind of
oh
flash. But
god,
I know some people,
here
they just
comes
do stuff on screen. So,
scam. Here comes the sympathon.
all right, I
Uh-oh.
probably tell it. Hey, little
You see who pulled
podcast.
up?
I don't think you've
What
ever
up,
met
love?
Chantel, but Chantel is the lovely Chantel.
Hey, Chantel.
Hi.
Any questions you
What
guys
up?
have?
You know, I
Lucky.
wanted to say something real quick, right? Because I'm actually on the road. But I have to say this. I think comparing a woman, an overweight woman, to a man that's just simply not rich is the most disingenuous slash silliest thing that I've ever heard. Like I don't understand this at all. Oh, you have a guy, he's not rich. I mean, so the girl, she's overweight. I mean, come. There's a lot of guys that aren't rich who still look good, right?
So how
And as a
about
man
comparing
that
it to
looks good,
confidence?
I want a woman that looks good. I don't care about how long my money is or how short it is or none of that. Just as a man that looks good, I want a woman that looks good. I don't understand why
So
we do that comparison. Can
when we,
anybody make sense of that?
That's you
yeah, the
two
reason
doing
why
it.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
compared, the
Go
reason
ahead.
why it's compared to
I
my,
could. I'll
can
wait till you finish, Marie.
no, wait, Mel, please, thank you. So the reason why it's pretty much explained and compared like that is because he'll be in chat. Is because typically his service just it's because typically when we're talking about potential, we understand that they're judged differently. Women are judged off their looks, men are judged off of how much they've accomplished financially. So if we're saying you should date a potential man based on where he is financially and he's not there yet, it's kind of like the question is asked the same way. If a woman isn't there yet, because we see a lot of times women start to look better as they get more better in the financial lane. So if that's the case, why are men passing up good women who are working towards looking their best instead of waiting until they finish and now their options are different and they may not want you? So
Hmm.
that's pretty much the
Well, I
question.
But
kind
then
of
Please.
I kind of get what he was saying. Like, okay, every woman isn't necessarily saying, how to explain it?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much universal. Men want the best looking woman that they can find. That's pretty much universal.
Yeah.
The dudes who are saying that's not true, you can tell where their confidence usually stands. But if you put $4 million in their back pocket, you'll see the woman that they really want.
You're right.
But understand that in the YouTube spaces, they're forcing the bag so hard that you got to have the bag, get the money. Money equals women. Like, that's not true. There's dudes with a whole bunch of cash in their pockets, can't get no ladies. That's true. But women want what they want. Some of them like a most intelligent man. Some of them like a tall. Some of them like abs. Some of them like funny. But whatever it is that woman wants, that's I think what he's saying should be compared to a woman's looks, and that's kind of a fair argument. But I guess universally across YouTube, they just pick money as the thing. Men over here with money, women over there with looks.
And I think also they interpret it as if you're not a high value man, then you should get a fat woman. And that's not necessarily what the conversation is about.
And here's the thing with high value. I mean, people didn't equate high value. Like, people automatically equate high value with money. And it's like, okay, what about all the rest of the characteristics
True.
that this guy's going to need in order to be, number one, a functioning human being, number two, a good mate and a good father, and all the rest of the stuff. I mean, high value is not just money. And it seems like no matter how many times you tell people that, it doesn't seem to stick. And I don't understand that. I mean,
YouTube, bro.
I
So,
guess.
I do want you guys too, because we're at our 1 hour. You guys, I'm getting good with time. I'm trying to figure out a flow. But I do want you guys to, say your thoughts on this, and then we can have, Chantelle kind of chat it out. But also to you guys in the back, I'm sorry. I'm trying to start something where I do want you guys to please wave at the camera so I can know. I don't just want people getting used to just putting something up there, because I need to know who's calling in. So I apologize if you called in before, but I'm just trying to. Most people have phones with the camera. I'm not going to show your face ever, so I just need you to wave at the camera, unless you're like somebody I'm familiar with. If you could respect that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're familiar with me now, sweetheart, so you already know.
Yeah, go ahead, starting with Mel.
Yeah. It's why the comparison, and I understand it. Like, you have to understand why they compare two different things. Men, why they say being with an incompetent man is like being with a big man that's lazy, and being with a woman that's not proud of her looks is like being with a big woman. Why, women are technically born with their value, because they get handed their value just by looking good, looking a certain way. Men have to build their value. Now, B. Smalls, he was an overweight dude, but he wasn't lazy. He was a hardworking dude and stuff. He built his value. Despite he was overweight, but he
You
still
said
built his
Biggie
value.
Smalls?
Yeah, he was overweight dude,
Okay.
but he built his value. He wasn't a lazy dude. He wasn't the type of big dude that still home, played video games all day, and ate up and not, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing. Yeah, he was a hard working dude and stuff.
Yeah, I think looks are different for men, so I agree with you.
Exactly.
Overall.
But to try to, you see, like, I get what you're saying. Like, if you meet a big girl and invest in her, that's like a gambling chance and stuff. And if you go to the casino, only like about 5% of people actually hit the jackpot. I want to play my game 5%. So for a girl that what we get with her and then we encourage her to lose the weight, that's technically impossible more percent of the times than it is. She got to already be into want to lose the weight practically before I even meet her or even get serious with her and stuff. Like, I want to see the process and stuff. Despite some cases, okay, the only way that works in some cases is like, let's say I want to me and her, we wasn't into working out. Then all of a sudden, I want to get serious in my health. I encourage her to do it too, and the byproduct, we gonna lose weight. We're encouraging each other. But I'm just meeting someone. She's always like the dude that's with Lizzo now and everything and stuff. She was overweight. She met some dude with a lot of people was legends saying she paid that dude, but he probably was just genuine into big girls and stuff. But
I
But
agree. I
I
think
can't
people
do
are
I can't do that. Yeah, like yeah, she has to be already in the process of wanting to lose weight and stuff. Like because some females not gonna take a chance on potential and stuff. Like potential for some females is more
Mel,
like,
Mel, I'm sorry. I do want you to be mindful. This is a final thought. I'm
oh,
sorry.
okay. I'm gonna do my last two
I'm
seconds.
about to go off.
Potential with a woman is more like they want to see the process already being done in it. You don't have to be in the final steps, but see your process already done. That's what potential is. Not just with talks. I'm talking about it, and then I don't see she don't see you put work in it. She wants to see you actually putting the work in it and stuff like that to lead up to the final product and stuff.
Yeah, I think I have a question for Chantelle before she leaves on her final thought. That'll talk about that potential overweight woman because I love her energy, especially her how is it? Look it up right now, your little video. So yes, so I agree with you, Mel. Thank you, Mel, and I'm sorry. I get this is your
Yeah,
thing, but
but I
next
was
time
like,
you have the camera a
I'll
little
come
bit.
early next time. Oh, you do trades? I gotta check out some of your videos on the trades.
Yeah, I haven't started doing it on my channel. I'm trying to figure it out because that's not something that's popular in this space. People don't really care to learn trade. So I'm trying to figure out how
I do. I do.
Hey, put some
right
And
now.
and do
financial
and,
in
and
this,
wait, hold
man.
up. And
I
do
wanna
one
get that money up my damn self also. So put it up, sister.
Okay, okay,
right and do it on business credit.
okay. I got y'all. And Eugene, you've been back there. I see you turn your camera on. So then I'll have them answer, and then your question, and we'll get to Chantelle. I'm trying to be a better content creator. Yeah. Okay. Hey H&M.
How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
There you go.
Oh, okay. How y'all doing?
We're
Chantelle,
good.
Lucky, nice to see y'all again. How y'all
Hey,
doing?
good.
Now, as far as this whole, a man being overweight and a woman being overweight, it is a bit of a difference because when a man is overweight and out of shape, people will gladly encourage him to, go to the gym, get in shape, improve your health and all this stuff. But when it's a woman that's out of shape, no one's going to care because men are always told, take women as they are, take her as she is. So if she's overweight and out of shape today, you either accept that or you move along. It's basically not our place to tell a woman that she's overweight and out of shape and she needs to get in and she needs to get her physical health in order. So instead of just taking that as it is, we're just going to deal with the females who are already, going through that journey, already trying to get themselves in shape, or at the very least look like they in shape. I can vouch for myself because a lot of females I've talked to, they either go to the gym just like I do, or they at the very least look like they in shape, meaning they're not overweight, but they're not underweight either, but they have a decent enough figure. So I don't have to worry about telling them, go to the gym, get yourself in shape because they consider that body shame. It's like society has conditioned us men to believe that it's not our place to tell a woman what to do with her body. Your body, my choice. So of course we're not going to come down on women for that. But it's easy to tell a man, go to the gym, get in shape, and all that stuff. So it's a big double standard. That's what it's a major double standard that we men have to tolerate.
So do you
You
have
understand what
any
I'm saying?
thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on like the overall topic as far as like pick me's and things like that?
I have no problem with the pick me's. And I gotta say, if you're a pick me chick, I consider that a good thing. You're basically saying that, hey, pick me, I'm a good woman. As far as I'm concerned, we're all pick me's because all ladies want to be chosen. They all want to get chosen by somebody. So I don't have a problem with the pick me thing. And as far as the
Yeah.
sisterhood thing is concerned, I think the sisterhood thing is not what people make it out to be. The sisterhood is not what women want it to be. It's like the sisterhood is just for the sake of taking down a man or destroying a man in particular. But when it comes down to it, they don't give a rat's ass about anybody. Excuse my language. I was telling this one girl that I've known for almost 10 years that she said that she believed in the sisterhood. I had to let her know that sisterhood does not exist. These women will stand by your side when it comes to taking down a man or shaming a man or making a man look bad because they don't take too kindly to them talking down on women. But as soon as it's all over, they're going to go back to hating you. They're going to go back to not caring. So it's only there just to serve women's purposes. It's not there for life. It's just there to slowly, it's just there simply to fight for women, nothing more, nothing less. It's not
Liberation.
so. It's not what it is.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that because I think that overall we are in a movement where it is about liberation. And I think it's okay to be liberal for some things, just not the things that pull us further apart to then be miserable as old people who are on AARP. So I definitely think we should do something about that. But thank you, Agent. I'm going to bring you down just so I can kind of get through this and be respectful of time. Thank
Not a
you.
problem.
Oops, I did it too fast. Don't take it personal, y'all. I'm working this out. Uh, What's up, Dusto? And then, like I still see you, Eugene. I'm just trying to, shift it, and then I'll bring you last. So what's up, you, Dusto?
All right. I think the overdose on talking points is starting to get out of hand to where people are repeating stuff and they don't even know what they're saying. At the end of the day, I could pull out this piece of paper showing, hey, I'm this. I'm 6 feet tall. I bench press 300 and I can come and approach you and I can approach Chantelle. Chantelle might say, you know what? Cool. Lucky might just say no. The reason why is because she said no. It doesn't matter why. People are people. People do as they do and they want what they want. There is no formula. And you can't force, because there's a lot of men who are thinking because they're logical, overly logical and lacking emotional intelligence. Just like the big, I'm trying to simplify it, make it shorter. But at the end of the day, people like what they like. They are who they are. Everybody is different. There is no actual cut cookie cutter formula for a man to go and lead his wife and all this. If you do this, you're a simp. You got to do that stuff is not real. There's some foundational things that are you a successful? Are you a failure? Are you a good person? Or are you a dusty? But this isn't reality. Yeah. When you click the red X, you're responsible for the life that you live and how you communicate and what your results are. Mm-hmm. Or if you die alone, I might end up dying alone. Hey, it is what it is. But I can die with a smile on my face.
No, you won't. You can always die best.
Oh, not a problem.
No, look at the way things are looking.
I might
be right with him dying alone.
No, options open, but not dying alone. Right. But I even speak Spanish, so if that's right, I got to go. That's where I got to go. But the other thing instead for the other thing other than the overdose on YouTube talking points, woman being overweight. There's a man on the other side saying, "Hey, this is what I've done for the last 15 or 20 years. I started here, and this is what I built myself up to be." Mm-hmm. I know that you, a woman, want to have a family. So I worked on my leadership, my guidance, my structure, my Cashapp, my abs, all this stuff that you can show and can be tangible or intangible. A woman comes to the table on 300 pounds. She's saying, hey, I know that I wanted a man and wanted a husband and a family. And this is what I'm presenting. A body that can't even carry the kids without it being a safety hazard. It's not a good thing. And also knowing that if that's what you've done in the last 10 to 12 years, what are you probably going to do older? Body done carried kids. What do you think the next 15 are going to look like? Disney doesn't sprinkle this miracle dust and get pounds off. And them surgeries, oh God, don't let me get started.
I was going to say that too because
there's surgery and then they're going and eating it back and getting fat.
No, I support that. I support the big do what you got to do to get that jump start.
A 91 with 3 Toyota rims on it. No. Just no.
I got a cousin, Lucky, who was morbidly obese. She had gastric bypass surgery, right? And they would get the thing with the stomach is the stomach stretches and it will go back to its original size. And the idea is for you to, once you have the surgery, start working out and make that a habit and make it a lifelong change to be healthy. She didn't do that. She gained that weight right back.
Yeah. Well, I think you make a good point. With the surgery overall, scam likely because your whole premise is the discipline. When I talked to you before about it, you were explaining how it's not so much the surgery. If you get the jump start, it's the mindset that goes behind it. Are you going to keep it up, or are you just using surgery as a crutch to keep getting it and putting your body at risk when you can really just, most people who really need it, who've been lazy past a certain point, like somebody says 600-pound life, like they have men that are handing them plates. So I think if it gets to that point where you're like,
you don't know what that is though, Lucky.
Do you consider that a man, like leadership and guidance? Why do you really consider those men actual men?
Um,
willing to let you get up to 600 pounds. Would you fall under
well,
that leadership, Chantel?
Mm-mm. No, I know. Mm-mm.
Lucky, would you
um,
follow
Do you want that
under that
guiding your
leadership?
kids?
no, cause I wouldn't let myself get that big. But I'm just saying, if a man, some people have their preferences. I don't think that that makes you a leader at all. I also don't think that that says a lot about you. That means that you're weak. If she's really just sitting on a bed with bed sores, yelling at you to bring her hot dogs, like that is ridiculous. So, I mean, but if that's what you're into, sir, we don't need her on the market trying to date nobody. She is for you. You are for her, and y'all need to stay together. So that's why I just because it was this girl, like side note, y'all, it was this girl on there. How you didn't know it was a dead mouse under you? How did you kill the mouse?
Oh, by suffocating it.
Stinking, and it's just it probably was like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
it got stuck. I said, oh no, oh no. So yeah, I definitely think it falls on him because he the one got to sleep with that, not me. So,
Mm.
but I think if
Because
you get to that point, you definitely should have what is it the 360 lipo, a facelift, a tummy tuck, a BBL, another L. You should have everything in the world. And then you should be like, you know what? He should be like, let's go walk in. So I don't think if men who are with overweight women who are having a hard time at the gym, maybe they
Oh,
can't
man.
afford Chantel.
I
So
tell you what, I tell you
they gotta
what,
get that care credit.
gotcha. But here's the thing. Here's why I won't do that ever again. Okay, lesson learned.
Oh,
I was
man.
with a woman, a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend. She was overweight. You know, like, again, pretty, but I was like, okay, she lost weight. She'd be really hot. You know what I mean? Super cool woman, super cool. But she had the big girl insecurities and the whole nine and other insecurities and all that. Here's the thing: to motivate her to lose weight, I asked her, "Hey, I'm going to the gym. You want to meet me there? Yeah. Okay, cool. We met there. She loses. Fast forward, she loses 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Still got a ways to go though. Just to give you an idea of where she was when I met her, a ways to go.
Well,
So,
it takes time,
but here's the
but
thing.
I
Lucky.
kind of want to start to wrap it up because I got a side note off the fat people, and I hate that because I'm not
Okay,
against fat
cool. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. But
Oh, man.
people. Chantel, we
story's
just
pretty.
go with the flow over here, girl. We be vibing, but
I'm
I just
just saying.
That
we
bad
be
boy.
vibing. But because I don't really like when shows be so like, you know what I'm saying? Let's just talk. Let's just shoot it, and then I'm gonna just take that as your final thought. Let's bring up Stem. I mean Eugene. Why do I keep calling y'all each other name? Hi Eugene. Let's
Hey, how
talk
you doing?
detail on the topic and stuff before we head out.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
All
Good,
is
good.
well.
Okay, the first thing I want to say about this overweight thing, first of all, both the man and the woman, has to be in shape because,
Mhm.
being in a relationship, it does take a lot of work. First, let's look at the man. Okay, he's got, he's got to provide, he's got to protect, he's got to work. And the man cannot be at his maximum if he's overweight. And I know I'm having this problem because that extra weight is preventing me from you know being able to do all the things I'm able to do. And the same with the woman. you know your
Yeah,
woman's at home. you know she's a little bit overweight. It's not just looks that's being effective here. If she's overweight, she cannot do the things that she need to do, especially pleasing your man, especially. And I had a terrible experience with that. Okay, so this is why I would prefer um a woman who's in shape, because if she's in shape, she'll do what she need to do. And I know I have to be in shape because I may I got work I gotta do too.
mm-hmm.
The thing about the pick me thing, if you listen to the word pick me, you're saying pick me. That means, you're doing, whatever we need to do to get picked. And you know
Mhm.
what? If you think about this, you know, and I think somebody said this earlier, men, when it comes to women, well, can be sort of pick me's too. Come to think about it, even though he's really supposed
Derek
to,
Jackson.
yeah, even though you're really supposed to be in his square, really, he's hunting for a woman. He's doing what he needs to do to prepare himself. Think about what's he gonna say to the woman and
Mhm.
things like that. You know, the man's supposed to be picking the woman, but
Mhm.
you want when you pick that woman, you want her to be able to accept you. Okay, if she gets picked.
Yeah.
But
I
one,
agree. That's an important factor we don't think about. Is she gonna say yes?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
And you can't get mad if she doesn't. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I do kind of want to make good time, y'all. I know we always kind of
I
get
didn't
off
have time
on
to
that,
finish my story. I thought
but
Chantel would have get a kick out. You'd got a kick out
well,
of that,
invite me
Chantel.
on your show and we can tell your stories.
I don't want to see. I think I told you, like, I think, I'm not sure, but I thought Chantel as a personal trainer would got a kick out of that. That was wild.
We'll call in on our show on Tuesdays.
Oh, that's what goes
We need
live? I do
somebody,
catch her
somebody
shows.
to start calling in who has stories that can compete with Tony's.
I missed Tony's story.
Yeah.
I encouraged him to go out so we can see
You,
these stories.
you did?
Yeah, I do. I want to start seeing people out here dating, not just repeating what they're hearing. Like, let's see who's
Oh,
really
that's a
out
good
here
idea.
dating. So that's what I've been doing. So we got some good content. We gonna only share on Chantel's and our channel. So
Yeah,
sooner or later, these panels are gonna start to. You're only gonna be able to talk to me on Chantelle. I'm gonna be exclusive. Or I'm starting something called the social club where we're able to use certain language, but it's gonna be like behind like a membership where you can say whatever you want, where nobody can take the content, where it's just real conversation about us going out dating.
no
So
YouTube talking points. Is that what you said?
you said what?
No YouTube talking points.
No, y'all don't go out enough. I can tell. But I'm
No,
gonna start
I'm
bringing
being
you guys
I'm being
down.
sarcastic. Mandrell knows what I'm talking about.
I know what he's talking about.
Right?
Yeah, we've had this discussion. It's just
I'm
like,
gonna start bringing y'all down.
uh,
Bye, man, drill. I know we were crazy over here. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna start being exclusive. So it'll be fun that way. Cause
So you're not doing any more panels?
probably in a certain way. I'm not sure. I like to invite certain people, but because I've been seeing a lot of people's pages are getting shut down.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to go if I choose to. But I really came in this space because I really wanted to be a vlogger where I'm really just an open book. But me being an open book has always shown out in the worst way. Like, I'm totally opposite from you. I'm just like, I messed up. I did this. Take it from me, girl. Run. I'm so open with it. And I don't care about judgment. People going to think, whatever. So that's why I just admire you to still be. I don't know why people judge you so harshly because you are private. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you really know about Chantelle? How could you not love her?
I wouldn't say I'm private.
You wouldn't? Like,
No.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what your type is. If they said, what was she? If I had to go out and pick a man for Chantelle,
Oh, so it's like, I wouldn't say. I mean, I don't think it's nobody's business.
it's not. You're absolutely right. But I'm saying as far as me being different, but me still getting to know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can hear, oh girl, I've been through that. But me, I'm trying to tell you these signs specifically I went through. You know what I'm saying? So
because I do say that because I do even the other day I had a collab with Keisha when I talked about the ex that was staying on my couch. I tell my stories how one time my ex called me to take him out to dinner. He took me out my bed so I can come pay for his dinner. But in terms of like in my current personal life, so we talking about like my dating life, then again too, it's like anybody on YouTube can put on a front, but you really don't know who people are. And I mean, it is, it's just like a public. You really don't know who people are. So for me to be telling like my personal dating, what's my type. Like, nah, that's nobody's business. Like,
No, that's why I said I agree, because then you have the people judging. You have I don't like that part, but at the same time, like that's why I was like, I'm getting into vlogging, and that's what I started, because I wanted to come in so people can be transparent with some things I choose to share, So I'm okay with it. Like,
yeah.
bring it on. At this point.
Yeah, I think transparency is definitely important, especially on YouTube, because especially on our channels, because it's like, if you're not transparent, how can people relate and learn from your mistakes? But then with anything, you just got to be mindful, because as I said, there are crazy people out here. So too much transparency, people will think that y'all are friends, and then before you know it, they show up at your house, hey friend, and you're like, wait, what? So
No, and it's a safety thing, so I definitely understand. There's certain ways you can share and certain ways you don't. So even with me learning a part of certain content and things, trying to have other people understand certain things about my quirky, maybe sense of humor that people tend to take seriously. Like, oh, you said these things and remember this, and you're like, girl, I don't remember saying that. I was just like, So I think the vlogging part for me, it'll get to show more of my personality and how I just interact in general. Like, I carry such this person. I'll be at Starbucks and start to make conversation with the barista, and then she'll start to be telling me her business, and I didn't ask that much, but it's like.
I think vlogging will be fun though. I like just Aaliyah's face.
I love
that. Yeah, I like watching her vlog. So vlogging will be fun. It's just that it's like you have to be vlogging a specific thing, because I'm so like boring. Like, I'm always in the house. Like, there's only so much I can vlog about in my house. So
yeah,
that would be interesting.
Well, I do thank you for stopping by. And do you have any final thoughts on the overall subject?
You said you had a question for me about the overall.
I kind of asked it, and I seen your face, and I'm like, okay. Because I was going to say a woman who loses weight, majority of her weight via surgery, would be considered potential if she was going to be doing the work after that, like a jump start.
Did she lose any weight before her surgery?
Good question.
Because that's what because it's not gonna happen, because you remember, weight loss is a mindset thing. It's a mindset why you got to gain the weight, and then it's a mindset why for you to lose it. So if she lose the weight as a jump start and then she want to go in the gym, it's not gonna happen. She's gonna start feeling herself. She's gonna be saying, "Oh, I don't need to go to the gym because I don't need to." And then before you know it, she getting it all back. If it's a case where she lost weight, got the surgery, and then maintain the gym, then I'm all for surgery. It's do whatever you gotta do. Like, it's your business.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you want to look great for a couple months before you get fat again. Go ahead.
Do you, sis?
Well, I do appreciate you stopping by to kick it with me.
And congrats on the 1,000 subscribers.
I know. And what happened was I didn't know that at a certain time, like, a lot of people were just making other pages to follow me that were my friends from the group. So like YouTube sent an email, and then it was just saying, so it reported some stuff. I'm so getting familiar with YouTube, like, and even certain things was getting reported. So I was just like, oh my gosh. But I did still hit 1,000, so I'm very excited. I'm trying to follow the watch hours and things like that. So I'm getting my stuff together.
So when people create fake pages to follow you, YouTube delete those pages?
No, it was like at a certain amount of time. Like, they made this big thing. Everybody go follow, create all these pages. So let's say like you had so many people follow you for a short time. I'm like, what's going on? And then they like contact you or whatever to see, hey, did it's kind of like just making sure it's not spam or something. So I'm just like, oh, okay, because I know Instagram does that too. So if certain people, they'll start to like, hey, what's going on?
Well, with the watch hours, it's just slow and steady. Do more lives to get your watch hours.
Yeah, see, people like when I was sitting in the car, and they like the Dear Lucky, so I have a few of those and emails sent, and some of them are a little bit crazy, so I'm like, how do you know that? It might be funny.
There's some crazy people on the internet. Listen.
Yeah. But I do appreciate this. I'm sorry we kind of ran over, but I apologize.
I had budgeted 2 hours anyway, so
Oh,
we did not go over.
okay. Well, I'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, Chantelle.
Bye.
See you Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay, y'all. Thank y'all for coming to hang with me. I kind of did something different on the intro. I didn't want to do the intro. I'm trying to change it, y'all. I want like some music to it, like some different music, but Lucky is over here. Thank you. Yay. I legit have. I'll say y'all. But yeah, I see that you guys are into like different content, but I definitely appreciate Chantelle. I always liked her content and things like that. And I appreciate being over there on the channel. But overall, I think just with the pick Misha and stuff, I think everybody should be a pick me. Like if you're not getting picked, what are you doing? You know, and I think that we should all go to the people who have already picked us that we may have looked past. Just from personal experience and what I'm learning currently, is that sometimes when you pass up good things, or I see so many times people get back together from being apart and they've been picked. So that's how I usually look at the pick niches. Like, are we passing up the men that have picked us, or are we just so worried about trying to get picked by anybody? Because I don't just want anybody to pick me. I don't think that every single man is the prize. So I think that's the part that gets missed when we talk about women who are pick me's. They're not trying to get picked by everybody. They're just trying to get picked by the best option that is picking them. So for me, I appreciate Chantelle. Go ahead and follow her channel, subscribe to it. Make sure you guys like this video. And I have some other stuff coming up. I do have to record and put together this vlog, you guys. What I was just chit-chatting throughout different days. You know, I went to the store. Like, I really just have a running errands type of life. But I have a lot of day parties coming up. So I'll definitely be getting some footage. You guys will see how I dress when I go out. When I drink, I'm very open with my life. So you'll see how open I am and how I'm willing to take you guys' feedback, and you guys can really watch me grow in real time. So without further ado, y'all, bye. Let's try to bye, Mandrill. Bye, Savannah.